Imagine this, your top laner is 0-10, your jungler can't find his minimap, and your bot lane has been letting the team know what they think about that for the last 20 minutes. It can be tempting to start a surrender vote, to just go next game. But this is League of Legends, and if there's anything pro play has taught us, there's always the possibility of a comeback. What? Down 10,000 gold, down 17,000 gold, even down 27,000 gold, and somehow, these teams still found a way to win.
I never doubted them!
My name's Myth, and you might know me from my channel where I make videos about the history of League of Legends. Join me as we uncover some of the greatest pro play comebacks of all time. Leading up to the start of Worlds, SKT had been looking a little shaky. Meanwhile, EDG had won the LPL championships that season, pulling off a reverse sweep, securing their place at Worlds. The match started normally with a gold lead of about 2,000 for EDG at the 13-minute mark. After a decisive dive mid lane which gave 2 towers, that lead grew to over 5,000 gold.
The mid lane is in complete shatters for SKT.
At the 21-minute mark, when contesting Baron control, it looked like Scout was caught out of place by SKT, but they couldn't finish the kill and EDG collapsed. EDG dive again, crushing SKT, taking a free Baron and turning it into a mid push for the inhibitor and a dive onto Faker. The game was as good as over at this point. 24 minutes in, not a single kill for SKT on the board, and an inhibitor down with a 10,000 gold gap to boot.
And inhibitor number 1 falls 24 minutes in.
But SKT's Worlds buff was in full effect, and they absolutely performed under pressure. With SKT pushing down mid lane to contest priority for Baron, EDG rotated upriver. SKT then rotated into the Fog of War toward Baron. And when EDG started to push mid lane to regain control, SKT saw an opportunity most teams wouldn't even notice.
Bang, looking to come in. Here comes your initiation. They're right through. Oh my God! Faker shockwave will find them all, and SKT with a hell of a response will take down 4.
Because Rek'Sai wasn't burrowed, they lost tremor sense. This meant that EDG wasn't able to identify exactly where SKT was for a few seconds, and a few seconds was all SKT needed. SKT seized the moment, with Bang, Faker, and Wolf all engaging from out of vision, starting with a devastating Rakan ultimate. SKT hit a 3-man Rakan W and 4-man Charm. Faker lands one of the most iconic 4-man shockwaves of all time. This play changed the fate of the game entirely. SKT immediately pushed down mid, taking 2 turrets and Baron on the way out.
From 11,000 gold to 4,000 gold, SKT bounces back.
Clear Love engages onto Faker, and SKT lose the fight.
The flash into the knockup, but now it's going to be Scout who's in some danger. There comes your Bang down! And Bang down! Now he looks like 2! They get the support as well! They've got the double kill for iBoy!
They lose an inhibitor, but with Baron spawning and the teams fighting for control, SKT close the gold gap dramatically, and find a very good fight in top jungle.
The AD carry, Scout jumping himself away, but Wolf is down! EDG's found one. Clear Love going to be going into ulti mode to keep himself safe. Bang! But Bang goes bang, bang, bang! Rat-a-tat-tat finds himself 2. Now they're looking to finish off the red. Going. Scout drops. iBoy stands alone.
As a result, the next Baron went to SKT, and the gold gap had now disappeared completely. And if EDG couldn't beat SKT when ahead 10,000 gold, what hope did they have now? Coming back from a 10,000 gold deficit off the back of that Wombo combo made this one of SKT's most iconic matches ever, but on this list, it lands at number 4, because the next comeback is somehow even more unbelievable. During a match between G2 and Misfits in the LEC 2022 Spring Split, at only 17 minutes into the game, Misfits were down a devastating 13,000 gold.
If my solo queue teammates lost this lead, I think I would give up on League for a while. I'll be honest here.
This was one of those games where it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Both sides of the jungle got stolen level 1, bot lane lost a 2v2 and gave up first blood at level 2, and top lane was solo killed at level 6. The early game was a disaster. At 17 minutes in, the only player who hadn't died for Misfits was VTO, and even that didn't last.
He doesn't know!
It's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yep.
The game was so doomed that only a minute later, G2 had taken 2 inhibitors and a Nexus turret. The game was seconds from being over, and even the casters were joking about how there was no chance of coming back.
And I know some people are like, hey, if we do the maths, you know, you can get this all this money back off the super cringe. That's not what's going to happen this game. G2 have so much control.
But unlike the comebacks that take nearly an hour to unfold, this one started fast.
I mean, sometimes it's a matter of pride, and that's all you're going to have left, Misfits.
It's this sort of defeat, Misfits, of course, can fight back. A single win will take them to playoffs, and they're looking to try and get some kills back here.
Casters usually focus on the ways that a team could win a game, but even after these 4 kills, they were still sure that this game was as good as over. When G2 respawned, they were right back in Misfits base, pushing to end the game. How could you even win when you have a Tryndamere split pushing on your only Nexus turret left standing? Well, like this.
In the final chapter, they're going to be able to take down one. Target's next on the menu as VTO takes them. Hit it, forced onto the fountain by Broken Blade, but that Nexus tower still remains. Misfits able to find 2 kills. They're looking for more. It's actually 3 as Broken Blade will go down as well. Caps being chased. The charm not quite hitting. Spectral more from Jankos gets the stun. BTO though healed up by this Yuumi. And G2 once again at the mercies of this Akali. They overstay, they overchase. Game over, says Mercer. A double for BTO. Akali 7-1. And Dagda. There's no flipping way. There's no way they do this.
While VTO engaged a 4v4 fight and killed all 4, Herod also beat Broken Blade in a 1v1 for the Nexus turret, going 0 for 5 while down 10,000 gold. This allowed Misfits to immediately secure Baron, which led to a fight in the top lane.
Ability ever for the slow, the hook connects, and now Mercer's trying to get his way out, but the charm will land as well. And Caps was having none of it. TP's in. VTO now tries to join the party. Dives onto Caps. Blackhead next up. Targamas with a good hook. Schlatten forced off by Broken Blade. VTO will take another. Hibbit now diving in onto Blackhead. Jankos yet to join this fight. The needle works on Blackhead. Hex Drinker not enough to keep him alive. Hibbit pops the stopwatch. Broken Blade has already used his ultimate. Hibbit's trying to survive. The healing from Gwen is absurd, but not enough. And now Jankos and Broken Blade staring down. Super minions.
VTO killed 2, but the rest of his team died going 4 for 3, leaving only Akali against both Tryndamere and Gwen.
As Broken Blade falls, Jankos dives away. He's dead! No! What? Look at Dylan Falco's face!
It's only 5,000 gold now.
From here, the game equalized, leading to a standoff over Baron, and VTO made an absolutely game-changing catch. With Tryndamere split pushing, Misfits sent both Akali and Gwen back to defend the base, leaving only 3 on Baron. Misfits turned on them, winning the 3v3.
And even without Akali, even without Gwen, Misfits still destroyed G2.
And while Jankos was making his way back to try to steal Baron, VTO caught him again. This kill and the Baron secure is the exact moment that Misfits had not only closed the massive 13,000 gold gap, but now had more gold than G2. They used the Baron to crack open G2's base. G2 secured Dragon Soul because of a bad fight for Misfits, but the fate of the game would be determined by the next Baron.
Blackhead and Caps on top of each other. Stopwatch. Jankos going in with a Heartbreaker. Mercer there as well, and VTO is on a rampage. And VTO! What other way to carry your team to victory than this TP to the mid lane, my friend? From the jaws of defeat, they clasp a glorious victory over G2. 10,000 gold behind. Let me say it again, because that's 10k that they were losing.
And just like that, a game that looked completely over before 20 minutes had turned into one of the wildest comebacks the LEC has ever seen. But the next comeback we're looking at wasn't fast at all. This next incredible comeback came at MSI 2016 against an undefeated RNG, with CLG starting at a 17,000 gold deficit, and this match would turn out to be an absolute classic. RNG had the advantage in the early game, with CLG putting up a strong fight into the mid game. 17 minutes into the game, there was only about a 2,000 gold difference, and things were still pretty even overall, but then Looper happened.
Oh my god! In comes everyone! Xiaohu with the first kill, Lambs spied a bit too late, and RNG snapped the jaws shut on the trap, and CLG are melting.
This play was the start of a snowball, leading to a brutal gold lead of 17,000. From a viewer's perspective, it seemed like all was lost for CLG. Just listen to Kobe and Para.
The RNG is so impressive. They've shown that they can win late game team fights. They can play scaling comps. They can play early game snowball. They can play all 3 lanes as pressure.
That is why they're on their way, fast track to an 8-0 here at MSI Shanghai.
With their backs against the wall, CLG needed to make a play, and that's exactly what Huhi tried to do while defending their base. Even though Huhi's attempt didn't work out, CLG managed to hold on and win the chaotic teamfight. The next objective to spawn was the Dragon, and CLG had no choice but to contest it, down 15,000 gold. This time though, Huhi landed the shuffle.
Can they do it? Lambs just bite Baron, a Dragon 8 dying, I should say,
6A does get Mata. The Dragon goes down and secured by Xmithy. That is the first one for them. Can they do it? Can you believe? Do you have the faith in CLG? Because they just secured 3. Looking for 4. Looking for it. And can they end on this one?
Immediately after, CLG catch Looper out of place and secure Baron. With Baron, CLG push mid lane for the inhibitor, taking the aggressive position while still down nearly 10,000 gold. On paper, CLG managed to narrow the gold gap a bit, but they had not actually spent that gold yet. Even if they had, they were still down close to 10,000 gold overall. They needed to go back and spend their gold, but got flanked by Looper, while Xiaohu went in for an assassination. No one expected it at the time, based on this game state, but the team that was down 10,000 gold was about to win the game.
Deathmark onto Hui, and they're starting to help, but Xiaohu is shut down by Stixay. I don't know how this one's gonna turn out, and that's insane. Looper is going low, but he chrono breaks back. A double kill for Hui, a kill for Hui. I can't believe it. A triple kill. That's gonna be the ace. Looper is down. CLG, do you believe, Kobe?
Did it! Are you kidding me? They're gonna take down the undefeated team here at MSI!
And
I never doubted them! I never doubted them!
Even though CLG ultimately lost to SKT and placed second at MSI, there's a reason this match is so fondly remembered by fans. They were winning the whole time, after all.
And I saw your faces here, surprised when we said 17,000 gold deficit. And you said, well, I mean, we were winning the whole time, but honestly.
We just wanted to get it to late game so that everyone has their items and everyone can fight them.
For the largest deficit and the most hopeless situation on our list, we have to go way back to the early days of 2012. Moscow 5 were such a dominant team that they are credited for evolving how League was played at a professional level, and to this day are considered one of the greatest teams throughout League's history. It seemed like no one could defeat Moscow 5, but there was an exception to that: CLG EU. See, CLG EU was the other European powerhouse led by Froggen in the mid lane, who was considered the best player in the world at this time. The first thing worth mentioning is that Froggen was on Anivia, and that was not something that was often allowed to happen, for a very good reason.
See, this is the first time I think this tournament that we've seen Froggen on Anivia.
Even though M5 were usually the aggressive team, it was CLG EU who got first blood in the bot lane. After that, each play went in the favor of M5, and by 24 minutes in, they had managed to grow a slight gold lead. After a teamfight over Dragon that went in favor of M5, M5 were ahead by about 5,000 gold.
He's in the midst of everything as well. Wicked is going to take down Darian. Snoopy's half focus from them. Gosu Pepper's ulti's a mile away. Here comes the Q of Diamond. He will flash over to follow Froggen as well, and Froggen is going to be egged. But does he have the damage to actually take Froggen down? He will now that the rest of the team joins him, and that will be a 2-for-1 in favor of Moscow 5.
A few minutes later, Moscow 5 were able to get Baron uncontested because CLG EU had 2 bot lane. This led to an immediate dive mid lane, straight into a push into their base. The 5,000 gold lead had now become nearly 10,000, and the game seemed like it was as good as over. M5 kept lanes pushing in, took the outer towers, and Dragon on spawn. When it was time for the next Baron, CLG EU felt like they had to contest it and were completely crushed by Moscow 5.
Straight down there. Snoopy's going to walk in. Snoopy's going to get ripped apart as well. Alex Six is still alive at the back. They're not even going for it. They've gone for Diamond Procs. Snoopy will drop. You can see, meanwhile, Wicked's also been targeted. It's actually Gosu Pepper that's chasing Wicked down, which is a strange one in itself. Immediately going straight in there. Froggen has been egged up and taken down.
With the power of Baron and M5's now overwhelming gold lead, 18,000 gold, CLG were trapped in their base. This was 37 minutes in. Surely the game would end at any moment, right? CLG EU were able to turtle inside their base using Anivia's ultimate to let Froggen do what he did best and stall the game out. When the third Baron spawned, for the third time CLG tried to contest it, once again losing a teamfight and falling even further behind.
Surely enough damage to finish off. Crepo now in trouble. The Q from Lee Sin will actually land, and that is CLG forced to completely back away.
No matter what they did, M5 simply could not break past the Anivia stall and get into CLG's base. The fourth Baron came and went, and even when they collected a fifth Baron, completely uncontested, they still could not find their way in. At 55 minutes in, up about 27,000 gold, M5 rotated to a 1v1 happening bot lane while they were split pushing. It looked like M5 were going to go all in, finally stepping up into CLG's base, but they they met the full wrath of CLG and Froggen's Anivia.
Alex is finally going to get caught out. Alex has been popped straight away. They're going to go towards Darian. You can see the pulverize coming down as well. The ulti comes out. Darian manages to pick up one kill. The ulti was cancelled. That ulti was not quite run through. Genja is going to get taken down as well. And CLG absolutely coming out on top of this one. It is going to be a 2-for-1. Genja's going to go down. He will get popped. Now Diamond Pro's also going to go down. The wall goes across. Blocks them off. Beautiful play. Will they split off? They go towards Ghosty Pepper. Ghosty Pepper gets a double kill there. And wow. Joe Miller, my voice is dead.
CLG used this swing to decisively push in bot lane, and did in one push what M5 couldn't.
Inhibitor is gonna go down, and CLG pick up the first inhibitor of the game. I didn't expect to say that.
I don't think I've seen anyone come back from around a 29k gold lead. This could be the biggest throw in history of League of Legends.
For the 6th and final Baron of the game, it was CLG finally in control. M5 tried to force a fight onto them, but a well-placed Anivia stun caught Darian, followed by another just a few seconds later.
Baron was down to about 8,000 hit points. CLG going to have to peel off this one. Shirelli is rubbing pops. There goes Darian, absolutely destroyed. Genja now is the target as well. They're going to dive towards Genja. Then the kick comes out on towards Genja. Headbutt, sorry, pulverized. Alex is now the target. That is wicked, picking up another kill. I cannot believe this is actually happening in front of me. Diamond Pro trying to get away from this one. Yellow Pete's just going to jump on his face any minute now. There we go. The shutdown comes in. The ace comes out from CLG. This is insane.
60 seconds spawn time. CLG gonna push this one through. In fact, they don't even care that those inhibitor turrets are focusing in them. The Nexus turret has already gone down. The second Nexus turret has come down, and CLG pull off the biggest comeback that we've ever seen in League of Legends at this level.
Amazing.
Absolutely insane. I cannot believe that just happened.
Coming back from 27,000 gold down already makes this one of the greatest, possibly the greatest comeback of all time, but winning while trailing by 20,000 makes it just that much better. Honestly, I could keep yapping about League all day. If we could include all the moments we wanted, this video would be hours long. I'm curious, which match do you think had the best comeback in League's history? And which would you like to see covered in a future video? Let me know down in the comments. Lastly, if you'd like to listen to me yap even more about League, don't forget to check out my channel linked below. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.